The New York Knicks have released their 2023-2024 NBA schedule, and we're going to break it down on today's video. I'm going to give you my top games to look at. We'll talk about all the primetime matchups they have and who they play on opening night. But before we do, I want you to light up the comment section and let me know, will the Knicks win more or less than 43.5 games this season? That's the line in Las Vegas. Type O for over, type U for under, and let's get into it. You are watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for taking time out of their day to rock and roll with us here as we get to really get into the nitty-gritty about this schedule. But before we do, maybe you've been living under a rock and you don't know who's on the New York Knicks roster right now. Let's break it down. They did make a couple of moves this summer. Obi Toppin is no longer a member of the New York Knicks. They traded him to the Pacers for 2 future second-round picks. The Knicks did sign Dante DiVincenzo in NBA free agency. They got a contract extension done for Josh Hart, and those were the main moves that they made. The Knicks PR account actually put out a press release talking about the schedule and went on to say, the New York Knicks today announced their schedule, which will begin with a nationally televised home opener against the Boston Celtics on October 25th at Madison Square Garden. Additionally, the team will once again tip off NBA's Christmas Day schedule, playing host to the Milwaukee Bucks on December 25th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. This will mark the 56th time in franchise history that the Knicks play on Christmas Day, and the second time playing the Bucks. The Knicks have played on Christmas Day more than any team in the NBA. Also, for the 25th consecutive season, the Knicks will play on Martin Luther King Jr. Day when they take on the Orlando Magic at Madison Square Garden on January 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The Knicks will also take on the Oklahoma City Thunder on March 31st for their Easter Sunday home matchup. This will be the 20th time the Knicks play on Easter. New York will also host the Timberwolves at the Garden on New Year's Day. And in their season finale, New York will host the Chicago Bulls on April 14th. But the season opener is going to start at Madison Square Garden, October 25th, against the Boston Celtics. Shout out to this awesome graphic made by my guy, Jay Nicky, over on Twitter. Give him a follow. Awesome Knicks takes. Really good follow. And he also makes awesome graphics like this. Give him a follow. But I am excited for Game 1 against the Boston Celtics. Let's go. At Madison Square Garden. Let's kick it off with a bang. I want to ask you, though, who do you got in Game 1 of 82? Is it the Knicks? Is it the Celtics? Sound off for me down in the comment section. So the preseason for the New York Knicks, it does start in October. Their first preseason game will be against the Boston Celtics on the 9th. Then on the 14th, they play Minnesota. Then they travel to play the Celtics once again on the 17th. Then Washington, and the season starts on the 25th against Boston. And then 3 road games for the Knicks after playing Boston. You see on Friday and Saturday back-to-back on the road versus the Hawks and the Pelicans. And then they get to play the Cleveland Cavaliers on Halloween, October 31st. You get rolling on, you look at November. Before we do there, some interesting things that I took away from the schedule. 3 times the Knicks will play the same team in back-to-back games, and they all happen to be a top 4 East seed from last season. Also, the Knicks will have 25 nationally televised games. And then you see over the first month, really the first month and a half, it's a very road-heavy schedule for the Knicks. It's going to be tough. And you see in November, it doesn't get any easier for the New York Knicks. They start off with a back-to-back against Cleveland. Then they play Milwaukee, then the Clippers, and the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama will be making his Madison Square Garden debut on November 8th on ESPN. Then you get 2, 4, 5 games in the next week. You play the Hornets, and then for 5 straight road games, and you're back at home on the 24th of November against the Miami Heat. That'll be a part of the in-season tournament. And let's break down exactly what this in-season tournament is going to be about, because I have been asked time and time again, what is this in-season tournament? And to be honest with you, I am still somewhat learning what it is going to be. So tournament nights will take place every Tuesday and Friday from November 3rd to the 28th, with the exception of Election Day on Tuesday, November 7th, when no games will be played. Each team plays the 4 team in its group once, 2 home, 2 away, and all tournament games will count toward the regular season standings except the championship. So here is the schedule for the Knicks in their in-season tournament. They started off with the Bucks on November 3rd. Then you get to play the Washington Wizards on the 17th, and the Miami Heat on the 24th, and the Charlotte Hornets on the 28th. The way it works is there are certain amount of pods, and the Knicks are part of this. I guess there's 6 pods of 5. That's math, 30 teams. Every pod winner, every team that has the best record in the pod is going to advance to the knockout round, which is the quarterfinals. You see that 6 teams make it, so there's going to be 1 wild card team. So for the Knicks to make it to the knockout round, they either A, have to have the best record in their group play stage, or have the second best record of any team, or the best record of any team that did not win their group play stage. So after that, it's going to go from the quarterfinals to the semifinals, and then December 3rd will be the championship of the in-season cup. What's at stake, though? Because that's all that really matters. Teams will be competing for the all-new NBA Cup, and there's some money involved. The winning team, each player, will receive $500,000, which can be a big, really boost in the pocket for a couple of these young players. Also, the team that finishes second will get $200,000 per player. I have mixed feelings about this in-season tournament. I want to know what you think. Are you a fan of it? Are you more excited to watch it in the regular season? The records do count to the regular season, so it's important ball games. Are you a fan, though? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Breaking down the December schedule for the New York Knicks, you see that they start with Toronto, and then the next week they have that in-season tournament. That's when it's really going to get rolling. But I want to focus in on December 25th. A lot of road games. You see a whole lot of orange. You only get 3 home games in the month of December to go along with what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 road games in December. Man, the early part of this schedule, a lot of the games are on the road. Like we talked about a couple of minutes ago, the Knicks will host the Milwaukee Bucks at MSG, the Garden, at noon. Getting Christmas kicked off. You're going to be opening your presents, getting some good breakfast in you, watching the Knicks take down the Bucks. That's what I'm excited for. You get 5 games on Christmas this year. Probably the game that I'm most excited about outside of that Knicks-Bucks game. I'm going to be really tuned in to the Mavs, Suns. That one's going to be a real fun game to watch. In January, the Knicks do get back to the Garden. They play a lot of games at home. Only 6 games away in January. I'm bad at math. This month is really when the NBA season gets started, because we all know the league doesn't really get rolling until Christmas. But once you get to the year of 2024, January basketball is going to be very important, and that's where the Knicks are going to have to take advantage. We talked about a lot of road games to start the year, but with this many home games in January, that's when you need to hit your stride. Month of February, the Knicks also have a lot of home games. They start with 5 home games, and then they hit a 3-game trip out to the West Coast a little bit, and then you finish it off with 3 more home games in February. I got my eyes circled on February 22nd against the Philadelphia 76ers. That is the first game after the All-Star break. So if the Knicks make a move, make a trade, it's going to be in the month of February. In March, that's where you're really going to start not needing to get hot and put games together and get rolling into the NBA playoffs, and kind of an even split of home and road games with some really tough opponents. You get the Sixers, you get the Cleveland Cavaliers, you get the Sixers again, you get to play the Warriors. That's where it looks like that West Coast stretches in: Portland, Sacramento, Golden State, and Denver. That's not going to be an easy month. And then you finish it off in April with a couple of games to close out the season. Once again, a very heavy road month where the Knicks will be able to try to punch their tickets into the NBA playoffs and decide what seed they will be. Some more notes that I have. There are 13 back-to-backs for the Knicks this year, including 8 back-to-backs in the first 36 games. Oh, my Lord. 8 back-to-backs in the first 36 games. I guess it's safe to say we are going to know a lot about this team before we reach the All-Star break. I want to ask this question, though, before we bounce on out of here. What game are you looking forward to the most this year? Christmas is going to be fun. Opening night against the Celtics. Oh, it's going to be fun. I want to beat the Celtics, and I always want to beat the Hawks because it's F. Trae Young. Spam it in the comment section. As always, just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in to Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Remember, you can always give me a follow and stay up to date on Knicks news, rumors, info, stats, highlights, as well over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Give me a follow over there, and let's go Knicks.